Well, I brazed this piece using that bronze silicone, and it'll go right in here like this. Get in here with one hand. It'll go right in there like that. I got to put a little tab on here to just hold it in place. The old one was done that way. A little tab to this boss here. I'm gonna put one of those on there, but that's going to be where it's going to be. Turned out okay. A little messy. See the bronzing there. You did not want to braze to this because it had some galvanizing on it. So after I got it all really cleaned off, it finally worked. Still got to check to make sure there's no little pinholes in it or not, but I think it'll be good. If there's any pinholes, I can just braze them closed real quick. I bought a new gasket for this, a new O-ring. It's a special wide O-ring, and so I got one of those, which I'll put on a little while. Here's my pressure sensor for the turbo. Welded that little bung on and put it in place. So we now have a stainless line that runs to the oil filter relocation plate. That's the supply of oil for the turbo. I put in the O2 sensor, although I don't have it hooked up yet. It's just sitting there, but the O2 sensor is there. And then this is the Optimus Group 34 battery clamp, and then this mark is where I'm going to end up cutting this plate. I had left it open because I wasn't sure what I would need, but I'm going to cut around this clamp, and then I'm going to cut it up to here. The air box will sit here somewhere. So turbo inlet is there. I'm going to build the air box here somewhere. Haven't figured that out yet exactly, but it'll be in this area. I cut around it like this, so it will hold the Optimus Group 34 battery here, which will be about to there. This little bracket back here bolts to the bottom of this tray, and it's surprisingly sturdy. I was thinking originally that I was going to have to put a 1x1 tubular aluminum brace in here, but I don't think I'm going to have to. This is very solid. It's solidly mounted to this, and it's solidly mounted there. I don't think I'll have to. Depends on how heavy the battery ends up being, and if there's any bouncing around, I might have to reinforce it. But I'm happy with it so far with what we've got here. I switched to start working on the exhaust. Here you can see the start of the stainless exhaust. I'm making a few turns. I brazed the piece of stainless to this piece of carbon steel here, which was also brazed from the factory to this stainless vibration reducer. But as you can see, there's my O2 sensor port there, and then I've got 2 turns so far on the stainless piece. So I'm going to do some cutting and measuring. Well, I'm still not done. It's welded to here, but still some stuff needs to be finished off here. But this is the start of the exhaust. Now I got it all welded up. So that piece, the end of this sticks out just past the transmission cross member when it's mounted. So I've started working on the seats to get the seats ready to mount. Did a test fit, and now I just did inserts here. There's 8 in each seat, 16 total. These are the M6 bolts, 2 in each corner, that'll bolt the seat down to a little piece of metal, which I'm going to go get, a platform. Alright, so these are 2 square 1/4 inch aluminum plates, and these plates are going to be the bases that the seats are going to sit on. So the seats will mount right on these bases. I'm going to use countersunk screws, and I have machine screws, and then I've got these nut inserts here. So it'll be smooth on the bottom, and then on the bottom of this is going to be one of these, which is a swivel, and then there'll be another piece that will be here, but it's actually made out of tubular steel. And when this seat is in position, it won't actually have any pressure on that swivel or the tubular frame that will pivot it. It's actually going to sit in place and sit on a frame around the outside, made out of tubular steel. It'll sit on a frame, and the swivel assembly and the pivot assembly will be underneath here. So what will happen is it'll be in position here while I'm driving, and then I'll be able to release it and move it back, and it'll be in this position, which is kind of hard to see contextually where that is, but it'll be in the cab, in the back, the sleeping cab, and then it'll go back to here, and of course I can pivot it. So that's the idea. Let's see if I can make it work. So now I have the plate attached to the bottom of the seat. This is only temporary. I'm going to use stainless recessed bolts here, so this is perfectly flush, and that's because the 1-inch tubing frame that this will sit on will actually be right under these bolts, and also the anchors that will hold it down when I'm working also. So yep, got it on there. I'm going to do the other one, and probably enough for tonight. So here we've got the aluminum plate mounted to the bottom of the seats, flush mount bolts, and then this is going to mount right on here like that. I've got it centered on these. So these bolts will go right through there on those lines. Now, this of course doesn't have a lot of strength, but it doesn't matter because it won't actually pivot with any weight on here. This is just to keep it aligned. The pivot, it'll just spin because it'll be flat bottom. It'll just spin, and then I'm going to have some pins that will hold this in place, and some channel that will hold the top so that it can't actually release, or something similar to that. I haven't fully decided. I might actually even do just like a loop that is small enough that it'll actually pivot all the way around, and then have a catch that the loop will catch to, like a regular seat. But I don't know exactly what yet, but got the other one done, got this one done. Next I got to build a channel box that'll go around this and extend all the way back to the back, and that'll be what it'll sit on for now.